Got another late video for you guys, and if you notice, the colors are correct, which means I'm not using the other camera. What is up, Finn fans? I thought today, if you could tell by the title, was Kyle Pitts' pro day, and he is somebody who is making a lot of noise, and a lot of people are talking about when it comes to him potentially being drafted where. Some people have him going 2 to the Jets. Some people have him going 3 to the Dolphins. Some people have him going to the Eagles. And there's a lot of talk going around Kyle Pitts. Where could he end up? All that stuff. So I'm going to talk more about him when it comes to my prospects. I'll break down the top 5 of each position. Even if the Dolphins don't have a need in that position, I'm breaking down top 5 in each position. And yes, I am going to do part 3 of the Kurt Warner to a breakdown. You guys seem to love it, so I will be doing part 3. But I thought this is a late video. You probably guys are either seeing it Tuesday morning or you're seeing it when it comes out, because a lot of you guys love to say first and also get the notifications. So I appreciate you guys. But before we jump into this video talking about Kyle Pitts, got to shout out my Patreons, Roman, Anthony. Thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon. If you guys would like to, it is linked below. There's a ton of cool stuff over there, a lot of stuff that I got going on. Like I said, I'm also starting memberships here on YouTube that you'll get even more. You'll be able to join the Discord, but you get other stuff as well with stickers, becoming mods, cool stuff that only you will get in live streams. So I have that in the works. Also, don't forget to check out patchvibes.com. I'm telling you, they got the sexiest patches, especially this captain one. I got to put this captain one, and I have to put this Don Shula one. I got to put these on the jersey. But they got a lot of cool stuff. They also have pins and t-shirts. Use the promo code DDW, eat yourself 20% off. Today was Kyle Pitts. Today being Monday was Kyle Pitts' pro day. He ran a 4.46 40. So a lot of people were like, holy guacamole, that's fast for a tight end. It's been the best since 2006. I'll give you a second. I'll give you a quick second. Comment it below. Who has the fastest tight end 40 time? I'll give you a second while I sit here and look around. I got new lights. I got 2 new lights. I don't know if you can, if it looks a little better lit. Did you comment it below? That is Vernon Davis. He ran a 4.38. He's the fastest tight end. So 4.46 is still pretty fast for a tight end. In 2020, at 43 receptions, 770 yards, and 12 touchdowns for Florida. Now, a lot of people are talking about him, and I'm torn. Like I said, I'm still in free agency mode. After this week, I'm right into draft mode. So I know a lot of you guys are asking me, hey, what are you thinking about who we should take? I did a mock draft. I did a real quick, pulled it out of my butt mock draft. It is on my Twitter. You just saw who I picked. But after this week, full-fledged 100% jumping into the draft, because the draft's April, and after March comes April. So we're going to jump into that, talk about all the prospects. It's going to be fantastic. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. A lot of you have, and I greatly appreciate you guys. But Kyle Pitts, a lot of people are talking about. Are the Dolphins going to take Kyle Pitts at 3? Are they going to take Chase? Are they going to take Devontae Smith? Are they going to take Waddle, however you say it? Are they going to take Sewell? Who are they going to take at 3? Me personally, sitting here right now talking to you, I'd prefer a trade down from 3. Now, could Kyle Pitts still be down there? If we trade with 8 to the Carolina Panthers, they want to take Justin Fields, they want to trade up with us. We drop down to 8, potentially maybe get a first from them next year, consistently have 2 firsts, keep building this talent, young, talented roster. Will he be there at 8? Is that a possibility? Will any of these top receivers be there at 8? Could the Dolphins still get Slater, who is another tackle like Sewell? I will talk about these prospects. So these are things that I thought about. And Kyle Pitts, being that today was his pro day, I was like, I got to talk about it. And then Barry Jackson came out with this article also talking about Kyle Pitts. And I'm going to talk about some of the things in this article. I'll link it below. You might have, I know you can view it once a month for free. So I don't know if you're able to without paying. I am able to without paying. But if I try to view it again, I'm going to have to pay. But they're talking about Kyle Pitts. They're talking about, so how could that possibly justify selecting University of Florida tight end Kyle Pitts ahead of, receiver Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, third overall. So he asked a lot of, he talked to Mel Kiper. He asked a lot of, AFC front office people what their thoughts of Kyle Pitts is. Mel Kiper said, "Stop thinking of Pitts as just a tight end. He is a different category than any player I can remember." Talks about, signing Fuller kind of doesn't limit us to just taking a wide receiver, but also we only signed Fuller to a 1 year. Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, and Fuller have injury-prone problems. They can't stay on the field. So I wouldn't necessarily signing Fuller takes us out of the running of taking a wide receiver with our first pick, whether it's 3, 8, wherever. But he says, this is from an AFC front office executive. I would take Pitts, third. He's a special player, tremendous in the red zone and offensive weapon. He says a veteran AFC front office executive told me he requested to stay anonymously. I'm tired, people. Having a child takes a lot out of you. Then Daniel Jeremiah said, I would take Pitts. I think it's a no-brainer. We've talked about how high his ceiling is with him. I think he can emerge as the best tight end in the National Football League. He has that type of dynamic ability. Jamar Chase, I have the same grade with Pitts, but to me, if you wanted to find another receiver, I think you got a better option for some of those receivers in the later rounds than you would at tight end position. This Kyle Pitts is a rare dude, a rare man. I would take him. And it's very interesting that Daniel Jeremiah says it, because this wide receiver core in this draft is super deep. So that's what he's essentially saying. You could get not as good as Jamar Chase, but you can get a wide receiver that is good in the second round. You're not getting a Kyle Pitts in the second round. You're not getting a Kyle Pitts at 15. I think you can make a strong case. He's the best player in this draft. I have him as the third best player right now. I'm watching these corners with first, second, third rounders draft grades in the SEC that can't cover this guy. Really makes you think about what happened with Eric Rowe going up against Waller. Eric Rowe was in the perfect position to cover Waller, and Waller just completely destroyed him, right? And tight ends, I'll go more into, I'm going to talk about Gesicki and Pitts and what's going to happen and all that stuff, but I just want to get through these quotes real quick because these are very interesting. You see the same thing with Pitts, and then he's a bigger catch radius to go up over the top of people and make the plays. To me, it's a matchup that's going to be in your favor every time you line up. The defense can't be right against him no matter what you do. You put big guys out there, he's going to run away from them. You put small guys out there, he's just going to pluck the ball off their heads. That, to me, is what makes him special. And then Barry Jackson says, if the Dolphins were to select Pitts, they would trade Gesicki, who's entering the final year of his contract, for a mid-round pick if they opt not to give him the type of big contract that agent Jimmy Sexton likely will seek. Gesicki can become another unrestricted free agent in a year. That's interesting, and we'll talk about that in a second. Jeremiah goes on to say the point that was made to me by someone in the league that said, we look at receivers and tight ends, look at the franchise number, and look at the difference in money. I think there's a big difference of like $6 million when you go to paying the best wide receiver, you go paying the best tight end. So not only do you have a rare mismatch player that's hard to find, once you get to the second contract, he's going to be extremely affordable compared to if you're going to take a receiver with the same pick. So you're getting the same level of impact without having to pay the same level of cost. I think that could be something that could be a tiebreaker when you're making that decision. And he says, Jeremiah's point is correct. The franchise tag number for wide receivers is $15.9 million. For tight ends, that's $9.6 million. That's very, very, very interesting. If you wanted to just primarily use Pitts as an X receiver, no problem. He could do that right now and be really good at it, Jeremiah said. Sometimes I think it's kind of funny. Like I'd have to look up, but like Gesicki, I'd have to look up, but like Gesicki with the Dolphins. I don't know what he means by that. He still has the tight end next to his name. I don't know. Oh, I guess I have to look essentially what the Dolphins do with Gesicki putting him in outside. I get what he's saying now. Just took a second. He still has a tight end next to his name. I don't know how many times he was attacked last year, but you might be able to count them on one hand. No one's pressing this man at the line of scrimmage. This is me saying this, not Daniel Jeremiah. He was always detached. To me, I would be trying to use this kid that way, just flex him out and use him. Then some games you want to split him out. Some games you want to use him in the slot. You can get him in the line. If you get opposite defense to go small, that is what is great about him. You get them to go small and you hold them down the field. Shield blocker, I would much rather throw the ball at him. Now, here's the biggest thing, but what about Pitts as a blocker? This is the biggest thing. And again, after I'm done reading this, I will talk about Pitts versus our guys and what's going on, because this is the last two quotes from him. Because is Pitts a better blocker than Gesicki, right? As a blocker, when you watched him in 2019, I think he was willing, but I thought he was really flimsy and just got thrown around. As you can imagine, a tall, lean guy, he really struggled. I thought he was much better this year, to the point where I thought he was functional. He's not a killer. He's not going to put anybody in the hospital as a blocker, but he's functional. He can wall off guys, and you can use him there. To me, the best matchup on the field is an athletic tight end versus the linebackers and safeties that are going to try and cover him. Some of the best corners in the SEC couldn't cover this kid, and now we're going to ask linebackers to try and match up with him. Not going to happen. So essentially, they're just kissing Kyle Pitts' butt, and rightfully so. Like Daniel Jeremiah said, he's a matchup nightmare, an absolute matchup nightmare. You're going to put a linebacker on him, he's faster than the linebacker. He's going to get separation. You're going to put a corner or safety on him, he is so much taller than that corner. That's exactly what happened to Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe is really good at shutting down tight ends. There's only 2 tight ends out of the 16 that he played that gave him trouble, and that was Travis Kelce and Waller. Other than that, he shut all the tight ends down. And that's because the height difference. Eric Rowe was in position with Waller, but Waller just would go back and watch the Raiders game. He had his hand on Waller's chest, and he was like, but the ball just went right into Waller's hands. And this is what Kyle Pitts brings. Now, the question, and they even brought it up, what about Gesicki? Are you going to take Kyle Pitts at 3? But what about Gesicki? Now, they talked about the potential. Barry Jackson said we could trade Gesicki. Gesicki's coming into his last year of his rookie contract. They could franchise tag him, or they can, no, he's not a first round pick. They could franchise tag him and then go from there. Or they could trade him. Could trade him now and get draft capital. I love Gesicki. So if you come at me in the comment section, say, I love Gesicki. I think he's fantastic. I'd love to have them both. So I'm not saying to advocate for it. I'd love to have them both, because then it's even more dangerous to have Kyle Pitts and then Gesicki. How are you going to stop this? Get in an I formation, 2 tight end set, 2 wide receivers. You got Pitts, you got Gesicki, you got Fuller, Devontae Parker, or Preston Williams. How are you going to stop that? You're either going to drop back, hand it off to, whoever. I don't know who they're going to draft. I honestly, I was trying to think of a name. I'd like them to draft the Alabama running back. I don't know what they're going to do, but just hand it off. If not, it's just the sky's the limit with this kid. Now, would I take Kyle Pitts at 3? I haven't made my decision on who I'm taking at 3. Like I said, I have this whole breakdown of draft prospects and all that stuff. So I haven't decided at 3. But would I be upset if the Dolphins take Kyle Pitts at 3? Probably not. The more I'm watching his tape, the more I'm seeing this kid just be completely dominant, especially in the red zone, where the Dolphins struggled. In between the 20s, the Dolphins moved the ball. But it seemed like once we got into the red zone, they kind of defaulted a little bit. To have Kyle Pitts down there would severely help them. So gun to my head right now, if the Dolphins take Pitts at 3, cool. All right. Super dynamic playmaker. He's going to come in. They're equating him to Calvin Johnson. They're equating him to a bigger Mike Evans, which more weapons. We want weapons on the offense. Defense still needs a little bit of help, but you get those weapons on the offense, it's going to be dangerous. And don't forget, we'll see what Albert Wilson can do. We'll see what Allen Hurns can do. We'll see if these guys can come back, stay healthy. Need a little bit more help on the offensive line, but you can draft it. We have 4 picks in the top 50. To use one of them on Kyle Pitts, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can say no. But what do you guys think? Comment below. Would you take Kyle Pitts at 3? Do you think Kyle Pitts would be there at 8 if we traded down? Or do you think like the Eagles, who are talking about potentially trading Zach Ertz, would they take Kyle Pitts? Where do you think Kyle Pitts is going? Comment below. This video is essentially a comment of the day for RC Rojas, because he hit me up on Twitter and he said you need to break this down on YouTube. So here you go. I'm telling you, if you guys comment video ideas down below, or if you hit me up on Twitter and you're like, hey, look at this, check this out. The whole Kurt Warner breakdown stuff, that was from you guys. When a few of you guys said you need to do a reaction to this video. And that's another thing, right? If you guys find cool Dolphin videos and cool Dolphin content you want me to do reactions to, send them to me, whether in an email or on Twitter or on Instagram. Send them to me and I'll do it, because at some point it's going to get dead. I'll have a ton of content, but I'm totally down to help you guys and entertain you guys, because without you guys, that number of subscribers wouldn't be there. So like I said, be sure to comment below. What do you guys think of Kyle Pitts? His ups, his downs. Like I said, the blocking, it's not bad, but it seems like he's got a little bit of a leg up on Gesicki. It seems like in 2020, his blocking got better, whereas in Gesicki's, his blocking didn't get better till a year out of college. So it seems like we're getting a head start on the blocking. So be sure to comment below. I'm very interested in what you guys have to think about Kyle Pitts. Tomorrow's video, I will do the final episode of Kurt Warner's Tua breakdown on the webcam, which is over here. Like I said, I got new lights, so it's going to look hopefully better. I'm working on it, making the colors look right. But other than that, like usual, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the like button. Lets me know you like my content, and to keep going with the certain things, be sure to check out Miami Sports Music. Fantastic site that has a ton of content on there. TD's on there, Solo D's on there. They have a bunch of different other podcasts and stuff. So be sure to check that out. Other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow with the final episode of Kurt Warner's video breakdown. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.